I want to go over how to download Python and to go over some simple steps on how to work with our Python programming. Because in class, mostly we use Cengage to learn how to code in Python, but that's not the most efficient way to do things because we have to worry about latency issues, and sometimes the internet will have an interruption, or it's just not the most efficient way to work. It's a good way to test your code at the very end, but it's not a good way to develop your code. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't loaded Python on your system, is you want to go here to python.org. And once you've gone here, then you want to go to your downloads, and you'll see as soon as you download, if you're using Windows, then you're going to want to download Python 3.74. And this will download the proper IDE for you to use. Once you have it installed, the next thing that you can do is to create a text file. This is what I have found to be the simplest way. And you create your text file. Make sure you have your .txt extensions for your the extensions for your files turned on, because that's going to be really helpful. If you aren't sure if you have them, for example, if you don't see the .txt, then that just means you need to turn on your extensions. And the way you do that is go to your, just open up any of your folder directories. Like I just have this one opened up to one of mine, and you'll see View. So then just click View, and right here where it says File Name Extensions, check this checkbox here, and that'll do it. And it doesn't really matter which one; it'll do it for all of them. And then once you're done, you'll be able to see this .txt extension. So what you want to do next is go ahead and rename this file. So rename it with your name, and then of course the name of the class. That'll help me when you turn stuff in. And then also whatever the assignment is. So let's say we were going to do an assignment. For example, you're doing 3.1, you would type in 3.1 here. I'm going to do probably the example for quiz 3, so you could just do Q3. And then what you want to do is leave the dot, because that's where the extension, it tells us what type of file this is. And we want to delete the .txt and type in py. The py will make this a Python file. This little message is going to come up. All you need to do is say yes, and then you can see that this happens. So you need to see this symbol, this little Python icon, for this to have worked. The next thing you want to do is do a right click, and you'll see right here it says edit with IDLE, and scroll down to the 3.7 and click on that, and that's going to open your editor, and now you can write some code. So I'm just going to do a really simple print function just to show you that this works. And so okay, and to do this, at this point all you need to do is hit F5, or you can hit run and run module F5, and yes, click OK, and then this will run your code for you. And so it'll open up in this shell, and you can see it says works. It printed it out. When you're done, just close this shell, and you want to be working inside of this IDLE though. And then this is where you would start to write your code, just the same as you would if you were in MindTap. The difference is this doesn't require the internet to work. You can test your code very quickly and efficiently, and it's very lightweight, meaning it doesn't take hardly any of the resources of your computer or your network to run. And so this is a really good way to write your exercises and to test your programs. So this is using the IDLE. When you're done, you just close it, and then you'll have your .py file right here, your Python file. So when you upload your files to me, whenever I run a quiz or anything like that, you want to save this .py file and upload this to me. Now, it's a good idea to save these in your own directory. So if I were you, I would create a GitHub directory and save these files to that. Anyways, that's it for this version. Now there's other ways you can do this. I'm going to go over one. So if you really like using Visual Studio, which I love using Visual Studio, I just think it's overkill for the kind of stuff we're doing. But let's say you like using it, that's fine. Go to create a new project. And the easiest way to do this is to look right here for your languages and choose Python. Then you want Python application, right? It comes up right away. Click next. I usually check mark the place solution project in the same directory. It's helpful. And let's say we were doing the same thing. We would just name this again. Create. And because Visual Studio is a bit heavier, it's going to take more time. So now you have this new solution, and you can now do the same thing. So we're going to do this again. And this is where you would write your code. You click the little green arrow, and it works. Press any key to continue. Done. Now again, the difference is that in Visual Studio you're creating a whole bunch of other files. The only one that I'm interested in is this .py file. And so if you use Visual Studio, which is great, it's going to be really handy for when we transition to C++. Just do a right click, and you should, let's see, open folder in File Explorer, and it'll take you right to your directory for your these files that were created. So this .py file right here, this is the one we're interested in. So if you use Visual Studio to upload your code, this is the file that you need to upload to me. This one right here, .py. These other ones are supporting files that help make it run inside of Visual Studio. So here's another file that you can use. This one here is Visual Studio Code. This is a light editor. It's just another option. I like using this one a lot, and comes in really handy. So again, we'll do the same. When you first start this one, you're going to need to come down here to the lower bar here and make sure that you have the right language. So you just, you can type it in or click on it, and it's just Python. So use Python, and it'll show you down here that it says Python. Over on this side, it'll say Python 3.7. And we'll give another example of what to do here. So let's say we're going to do print something again. And here you can use the debug option, or F5 works again. So you can say start debugging. That's fine. You're going to get this little thing that comes up. You just say fine. Just click on the Python file, and we don't care about that. So if that error comes up, all it means is that you need to name your file and you need to save it. So you can just click on File and Save, and then just save it to whatever directory you're going to save it to. Remember to give it the same name again, like we did in the other examples. And that's all. You just need to give it a name and save it to some directory. And once you've done that, then you can actually click on your debug, click on the Python file, and then you can see down here that it ran here in the terminal. If you want to look at the debug console, you can look at that output. Let's see, nothing there. Terminal file, everything, it comes out right here. So again, Visual Code is really, really nice to work in. I love the editing, I love the background, I love the customization. It's a very powerful, I would say lightweight to midweight IDE. So it's really good for programming in Python. This is an example of the 3 different ways that you can write your Python code. After this, I'll go ahead and give a demonstration of how to work in the IDLE for coding Python to do the example in, I think, quiz 3. Okay, happy coding.